morning, everyone. Welcome to Delta Entertainment. I am your host, Liquor Kenobi. And before we get started, guys, please hit that like button and please subscribe to my channel. Would appreciate that very, very much. All right, let's get into this. Comcast, the NBCUniversal leadership, issues internal letter on Charlie Kirk, calls for respect in public discourse. We need to do better. So right now, NBCUniversal, Comcast, they have seen what the tragedy that has happened, and I believe, which I haven't read this article yet, which we are going to read now, I believe they're starting to get better. And like I said, all these news medias, they need to be better. They need to start bringing out the truth. No lies. No more lies, no more hate. Stop being on one side and be on both sides. Be fair to one another instead of fighting against the other. We need this right now. That is why people like me will keep having a voice, and we will keep speaking out, and we will expose the far left for what they have done in this heinous act. So let's start reading this. The ripple effects of Charlie Kirk's tragic killing continue to spread across the media and corporate world. Multiple sources have provided that part placed with an internal letter sent to all Comcast NBCUniversal employees, authored jointly by Comcast CEO Brian Roberts, Comcast President Mike Canavan, and NBCUniversal Chairman Mark Lazarus, on the Charlie Kirk tragedy. The message addresses Kirk's passing, MSNBC handling a commentary around the tragedy, and a broader call for employees to embrace civil dialogue. It is rare to see Comcast top executives directly reference political and cultural controversies, underscoring the magnitude of the moment. So here we go. Dear Comcast NBCUniversal team, the tragic loss of Charlie Kirk, 31-year-old father, husband, and advocate for open debate, whose faith was important to him, reminds us of the fragility of life and the urgent need for unity in our nation. Our hearts are heavy, and his passing leaves a grieving family and a country grappling with division. There is no place for violence or hate in our society. You have seen that MSNBC recently ended its association with a contributor who made an unacceptable and insensitive comment about this horrific event. That coverage was at odds with fostering civil dialogue and being willing to listen to the points of view of those who have differing opinions. We should be able to disagree robustly and passionately, but ultimately with respect. We need to do better. Charlie Kirk believed that when people stop talking, really bad stuff starts. Regardless of whether you agreed with his political views, his words and actions underscore the urgency to maintain a respectful exchange of ideas. A principle must champion. We must champion. We believe in the power of the communication to bring us together. Today, that belief feels more vital than ever. Something essential has fractured in our public discourse. And as a company that values the power of information, we have a responsibility to help mend it. As employees, we ask you to embody our values in your work, communities. We should engage with respect, listen, and treat people with kindness. And this came from signatures with Brian Roberts, Mike Canavan, and Mark Lazarus. Well said, bro. Yeah. And this letter has really done a lot. And I can tell you this right now, man. Like I said, man, it's still heartbreaking that this happened. But right now, we don't know when his funeral is going to take place. Most likely it will be taking place tomorrow. But I will say this, and I will say this right now, man. I'm probably not going to be able to do a video on it because, of course, I got to work. But it is sad, bro. But if there is a chance that they can do it early in the day, I will be there. I will try to do my best to put a video out. But yeah, um, it is a very sad moment. So let's read this right here. Direct acknowledgement of Charlie Kirk by Comcast NBC News Universal leaders. Corporate America rarely singles out figures tied closely to conservative politics. Yet here, Comcast executives not only name Charlie Kirk, but also describe him as a father, husband, and an advocate for open debate. That framing is significant. It moves beyond partisan divides and presents Kirk's as a human being who loss should resonate across ideological lines. MSNBC contributor termination. The executive explicit note that MSNBC under Comcast umbrella severed ties with a contributor who mocked Kirk's death. This is the course referencing Matthew Dodd, who was fired earlier this week for saying the following. And I'll tell you this, man. This is cruel. And this is what he said, just to remember that. He has been one of the most divisive, especially divisive younger figures in this, who is constantly sort of pushing this sort of hate speech or sort of aimed at certain groups. And I always go back to hateful thoughts leads to hateful words, which then lead to hateful actions. And I think that this is the environment we are in. You can't stop with these sort of awful thoughts you have and then saying these awful words and not to expect awful actions to take place. And that's the unfortunate environment we are in. Yeah, which people like Matthew Dodd started all this thing in the first place. Because of people like him, Charlie Kirk is dead. His wife does not have a husband, and his children and his children don't have a father to raise. All those children have now is his wife, is his mother, is their mother. And I hope to God that Erica, I hope to God that she pulls through, bro. So, I mean, it is heartbreaking. It is heartbreaking to see this happen. Echoing Kirk's own words, perhaps the most surprising moment is the direct quotation of Kirk himself. When people stop talking, really bad stuff starts. By spotlighting his warning, Comcast leadership implicitly validates the principle and silencing debate rather than engaging it breeds extremism. For a company frequently accused of bias, this acknowledgement may mark a notable shift. A call for employees to lead by example. The letter closes with a moral directive to employees. Show respect, listen, and treat people with kindness. This isn't simply corporate boilerplate. It is a reminder that Comcast controls one of the largest media platforms in the world, and its eternal cultural inevitability affects what viewers see on screen. Why this Comcast Charlie Kirk letter matters. The eternal Comcast NBC Universal memo signals an unusual level of corporate reflection in the wake of a political killing at a time when partisan attacks have escalated and social media platforms are rife with the violent rhetoric. Comcast leaders are stalking out of position. Civility must return to this public square. Whether this translates into lasting change at MSNBC or remains a careful worded PR exercise remains to be seen. But for now, the nation's largest cable and media conglomerate has tied its brand directive to the principle of respectful dialogue, using Charlie Kirk's own words as a rallying cry. I will say this, it was a very good letter. I really liked the letter. But like I said, man, right now, NBC better shift. They better start changing. And they're right. They better do better. Because a lot of these media channels have not been doing great. And they need to do better. So I hope NBC, for their sake, I hope they keep their word that they will do better. I hope they do better. So thank you for watching this video. I appreciate you guys. If you do me one favor, is to share this video, post a comment below, let me know your thoughts. And as always, thank you for watching this video. Thank you for being part of the channel. And I hope to see you guys until next time. Bye, everyone.